I initially sat down with the idea that I was going to write a blog for what we're doing, and tracking my journey so far and explaining how my life is and what I do. But then I thought about that, and I don't really like writing, and it doesn't really come out of me in the same way as when I talk it. So I've decided I'm going to keep blogging, well, start blogging, but I'm going to video blog. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm here in my house, and I've just finished work and just done some yoga and feeling really good. So the first blog, my first video blog entry, is on what flow means for me, living in the flow. This was something that I talk about all the time with people who live in the flow or have this idea of flow, or what flow means for them. But what flow means for me is kind of just really listening into what's real for me and living in that way. So I guess it started maybe 5 years ago, but I didn't just one day wake up in the flow. There was a sort of transition period to changing the way I perceive the world and perceive myself possibly in the world, and then change the way I live. So when I was about 25 and I'd been overseas, and I was tinkering, I guess, on being sort of depressed and just not really knowing what I wanted or who I was, or not really understanding things about myself and why I was the way I was, maybe, and not knowing how to utilize that in my day-to-day life. So yeah, I was 25 and I was overseas and in a relationship I didn't like, and then I remember what it was. I was teaching then. I was a kindergarten teacher in London, and I had this day relieving at this school, and it was just horrible. I just felt sick being there and seeing these really disempowered teachers and disempowered children and disempowered me. I didn't feel like it just didn't feel very good. I left that day and decided, wow, I don't actually have to be here. I don't have to do this. And I could possibly change it all. And then I realized everywhere I'd got up till then, I'd actually created, myself. So I decided, well, I'm going to create something else now. Where do I start with that? And it just kind of clicked. It's like, it's the way I think, I've got to change my thoughts to be more positive. And that's when it kind of started, and I became really vigilant around my thought processing to realize that I could actually create everything through my thought, the power of thought. We've all kind of, well, maybe not all of us, but I'd read a lot about it and hear about it, and it sounds so beautiful and magical, but how does it actually work in our lives? So yeah, every time a negative thought would come in, which was pretty much all of the time, I would then turn it into something positive. So I used to spend an hour and a half getting to work, and that was really quite tedious. And then I just started noticing the positive things in it, and just sitting there and spending time by myself and reading a book or looking out the window or whatever it was, or just noticing other things and turning them into positive thoughts and a positive experience. I mean, bringing that presence, that real presence into my life was so exciting, And then I ended up coming home and just deciding I was going to change everything, including my career, what I was doing, who I was traveling with, who I was friends with, and just decided to create something else. And it's been pretty magical. And at the moment, we've just been Carolyn, my best friend and business partner. We are creating what is Karama Space, or raw yoga. A year ago I came up with raw yoga, and now that I'm a yoga teacher, and I absolutely love it, and I've found my complete creative space through movement, and yoga's been the tools that have got me there. So we're in this kind of amazing, really authentic adventure and journey, which is completely in both of our flows, and we teach yoga and meditation and partner yoga and a training to do our acro yoga, which is really exciting, and we just want to build a community and empower others to kind of live in their flow and find what's really real for them. So that's just kind of a brief description of where I've started and what I'm doing now. Obviously I've missed out a huge chunk in the middle of kind of the steps that have happened between that and something that's actually tangibly understandable that you can apply in your own lives. That's what I'll be sharing over my blogs, but yeah, this is kind of what it's about. It's living in the flow and how how I accessed it and how I think some of these steps can possibly be used again, and then just talking about the business and the yoga and all of the really fun, exciting things that me and myself and Carolyn are doing at the moment. So yes, this is my first video vlog. Namaste.